Hey, what's up, guys? This is your COVID-19 daily update brief slash intel brief slash whatever you want to call it. This is going to be current as of today, which is March 31st, 2020. Current as of roughly 1933 Eastern Time. Got some different information I want to provide you guys. I'm trying to change it up every few days so it's not the same thing. So let's go ahead and we'll dig into the numbers and what we have going on. So total cases confirmed roughly 850,000 globally. Total deaths 42,107. So we're seeing a growth of 7 to 10% in the last 24 hours with both of those numbers. Cases confirmed and deaths continue to go up. So we're going to continue to track the percentages by how much, right? Starting yesterday and today. Here are my assumptions if you've been following. The key assumptions that I made back on the 28th, the 26th, and the 27th. These ones are coming up on the 4th. Right now, the US case fatality rate equals 5.6%. That is a drop from yesterday's, which was, I believe, 7.4, 7.3%. I can't quite remember. So again, that's a good thing, guys. It's going to continue to fluctuate, though. However, like I continue to say over the next few days, whether it's going to continue to fluctuate up or down until we kind of really level out. So looking at country deaths, right now the United States is the only one doubling every 3 days. Some of the other ones, United Kingdom, France, Germany, they're doubling every like 3 to 4 days, but closer to 4 days right now. Spain has finally got over that hump of every 3 to 4 days. Right now, in the last 24 hours, they're at 5 days. I assess that they're going to continue to be at 5 days because their growth continues to kind of go down and or stay right around like that 10 to 15, 17%. It's not really getting above 20% that we've seen. And of course, Italy is now doubling right about every 7 to 8 days, or kind of closer to 8 days at this point. And again, their growth rate has stayed about the same. They had one spike at 10% within the last like 2 or 3 days, but really they've been consistent at 7 to 8. So we can expect them to start dropping off. I don't think anytime soon, and I'll explain why when we get to this, right? As far as the cases that they still have, uh, but hopefully in the next week or two, it will start to drop a little bit as it evens out. So again, following along with my key assumptions, 6,000 deaths by April 4th here in the United States, and roughly 18,000 by April 4th in Italy. So we're going to continue to track that. What I want to show you guys here and bring up, I brought it up in one of my previous videos back on the 26th, and we'll go over it again. What's concerning to me that I keep continuing to track with all of these countries is the serious or critical patients uh, in each country, right? And these numbers continue to go up. So in the United States, we have roughly 4,000, 4,000 in Italy, 5,600 in Spain, 2,600 in Germany, 5,600 basically in France, and about 3,700 in Iran, right? So the reason why that's so concerning is the New England Journal of Medicine just produced a paper on COVID-19 yesterday that they released. Excuse me. So we'll pull this up here. I'll show you that it is the right COVID-19 and critically ill patients in the Seattle region. The New England Journal of Medicine. So what they did is they took 9 patients from different hospitals within the state of Washington, right? And they monitored them. The outcomes for individual patients included in the case series showed a 50% death rate or case fatality rate in the patients that were critically ill or considered severe, right, in ICU, as we see here. And most of these patients were over the age of 60, right? I believe their mean age was 65, 68. It says it somewhere in the article. I believe it says it right here, 65 years of age or older. However, although the case fatality rate was higher in persons 65 years or older, it was still substantial, 37%, guys, in persons younger than 65 years of age. I know this is such a small amount of data set, right? Considering it was only 24 patients, but they're showing that this stays in line with what they were seeing for patients in Chinese hospital uh, and other areas. So right here, the case fatality rate of 50% in this series is similar to that reported among critically ill patients in Chinese hospitals, but lower than that in a single center experience reported from other area. So to me, that's alarming, right? So back on the 26th, if you've been following along, I'll make this bigger. I made the prediction that by the 9th or 10th, I did a worst case scenario and a best case scenario. Worst case scenario, the way that the numbers were going up at the time, was that we would roughly have 26,000 deaths in the U.S. By the 9th. My best case scenario, that we would start locking down major cities, right? We would start quarantining. Governors would enact a stay at home, restrict movement, or just basically lock everybody down, right? We would see the number roughly be 13,000, best case scenario. So anywhere from 13,000 to 26,000, right? I did a 50% increase on those numbers. And we're in line right now, I feel, to meet the best case, right? Because we have been locking uh, the different cities down. But on the second and third, I assessed that we would be at 5,800 deaths and or best case, right? If they would have enacted those lockdowns a lot earlier, around 2,900. Guys, we've already passed 2,900. If I bring this up, right now we're at 3,850, right? So overnight, I think we had roughly 855 deaths, 870 deaths, something like that. We passed, or it says it right here, actually, I think. Oh no, this is for today's data. Yesterday, we actually passed Italy as far as total deaths. Right now, we're already at 709 deaths for today. While I was looking, Italy's at 837 that they reported for the day. Spain was at 748. We passed Italy in the amount of deaths that we had yesterday, guys. 800 and something, which is crazy. So what that means to me is that unless we do something serious, right? The prediction that I made back on the 26th is gonna align, right? Like we will definitely meet that 13 to 26,000. I'll try to give a better number here. I wanted to bring this up because for anyone that was tracking the videos and still cared, kind of what my predictions were. I wanted to show that I made this, quite a few days ago, right? Basically a week ago now, almost a week ago. Um, so yeah, we'll continue to monitor that next week as we go into the first week of April. Uh, Before we get kind of closer to the 9th and 10th, we'll continue to track that. But again, what's alarming is if we go back to how many patients we have in critical care right now, we have 4,000 in the US. So according to that journal, that published paper, we're looking at anywhere from 37 to 50% deaths, right? And the thing is this continues to increase every day. So that death rate is on the new patients that get added to that every day, right? Because every patient uh, dies roughly, according to this, I think it was 12 days in care. Um, the mean days in care, yeah, I believe was 12 days, anywhere from 8 to 18. So the first one, uh, this one died 6 days in care. This one died at 2 days in care. Uh, and again, 1 day in care. I don't want to say this one, right? These are people that I'm talking about. Super tragic, unfortunate. Um, and it stinks looking at them as like numbers, right? Because they are family members, a brother or sister, a mom or dad, aunt, uncle, what have you, of somebody that's still alive today. Um, but an average of 12 days, or excuse me, 10 days, I believe it was anywhere from 8 to 18. Yeah, I probably should have had that up for you guys as well. Uh, so we have to kind of try to guesstimate on the numbers that we're seeing every day, which I haven't been tracking, right? But the overall, we can still kind of make that assessment. So that's why I'm saying when I say that Italy has gone down, right, and we're seeing them kind of level off at 7 to 8%. Spain is continuing to go down. They still have a large amount of patients that are coming in and that are in serious or critical care every day, and that's the number that we need to track because these are the patients that are going to be on the ventilators that are in ICU and that are fighting for their life and fighting for every last breath. Uh, And we hope and pray, right, that in the next few weeks, as soon as possible, we're able to find some kind of vaccine uh, to heal this, right? And our predictions are completely wrong, and everybody comes out of this with a 75, 80, 90, 100% recuperation rate or recovery rate. But I don't foresee that, right, until we get a vaccine, until we get that cure. But yeah, this is the number that I've been tracking, guys. The serious and critical rate cases, not so much the confirmed cases, right? And definitely the total deaths. But again, these are the ones that we got to keep an eye on and how often they're increasing and by how much they're increasing. And that's kind of where I make my predictions off. So yeah, I've been talking a lot. Let's go up to states. Nothing really has changed too much. South Carolina and Florida are the only states that continue to kind of double every 72 hours in confirmed cases, right? Still about the same. However, some stuff has changed as far as the death rate goes. Illinois, New York, Maine, Louisiana, and California continue to double every 3 to 4 days in their deaths. So we have Louisiana spiked up to 239, 174 for California, 99 for Illinois. Florida is at 85 now. Virginia is at 27. South Carolina at 22, and Maine is 5. So we start seeing these sharp increases, right, in Florida and Illinois that we'll continue to monitor. Uh, but also, guys, states like Michigan um, and New Jersey, sorry, they're up at like 250, 270 deaths, right? And what's alarming is down here, what we are seeing is when New York was right around 250 deaths, they matched a lot like, or excuse me, Michigan, New Jersey, Illinois, all these states that are now at above 200 deaths per state align very well. They almost mirror exactly what New York did when New York was going out. So I'm making the assessment right now, guys. Within the next week, we could see Illinois, Michigan, New Jersey, and possibly uh, California um, and Illinois, right around 1,000 deaths, which is kind of where New York is right now. New York is at 1,500 deaths currently. Uh, and I assess that within the next 7 days, a lot of these states will have already surpassed that 1,000 death mark. Super tragic, super unfortunate. I'll probably add that to the next update. I know I'm talking a lot right now. There's kind of a lot on my mind and a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk about. Hopefully the information is helpful. Uh, but yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll update that stuff tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have some things visually that you can kind of see, and we'll start tracking that and seeing how these other states mirror New York, like I was talking about. Once they hit, actually, I think I can show you state deaths. If we see here, right? Once New York hit 210, 285, it took them 5 days to get over 1,000, right? So if we come down here to Louisiana, they look a lot like New York did at first before they hit the 200, 114, 114, 210. These were days where they didn't have information, right? But if you come down here, it's looking a lot like 137, 151, 185, then a big spike to 239. I'm assessing tomorrow is going to be another big spike. Same thing with these right here, right? Continues to go up by 10 or 20 cases, right? Then a big spike of roughly 30 cases. Tomorrow will be a big spike of probably 50 to 60 cases. And then New Jersey and Michigan are even worse. So that's kind of what I'm talking about when they kind of mirror New York and that kind of that assessment, right? And not really following those confirmed cases. But anyways, too much talking today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the update. Hopefully it's kind of helping you rationalize the virus a little bit more, the confirmed cases and deaths, and what we kind of expect here in the United States as we continue to battle this over the next months. But yeah, any questions, guys? Leave me a comment or question. If I make a mistake, if you don't agree with some of my analysis, I'm definitely open. We're all learning. This is new. It's a learning process for all of us. I'm trying to ingest this just as much as you are. But yeah, anything that you have, leave it in the comments.